here at the city of David. You can hear in the background the Muslim call to prayer. In Jerusalem, this is a common sound heard every few hours of the day from the Temple Mount. And underneath that, we have the city of David and the Jewish culture that is important to this city. This city is a strong mix of demographics between the two groups, and finding ways to live together is one of their challenges. But there's many things that are coming. The United Nations tends to say that this is an Islamic history site, but there's many things that are coming to light, and here's another one of those for another video here. And so I hope you enjoy what Zev Orenstein has to tell us.
I am standing now on something, the only one of its kind found in Jerusalem. Any guesses what this is?
Altar?
Not an altar. You all kind of use one of these every day.
Oh, it's place to speak. Podium.
Yeah, speaker's corner, right? Hyde Park, a podium. So imagine 2,000 years ago, somebody who has a message they want to share, a religious message, an ethical message, a political message they want to preach. Where are you going to do it? You're going to go to where the people are. The people are here. So someone 2,000 years ago would get up here and preach, right? Give a sermon right here. And if they're interesting, you know what's going to happen? People are going to stop and listen. And if they're not interesting, someone else will get up and give it a go. But this is where it's happening. A real person giving a real speech right over here on an ancient soapbox. Now, not long ago, I was in Washington, D.C. A senator asks me, he says, what are the chances that Jesus walked on this road? I said, listen, Senator, I don't want to tell you stories. Let me give you a conservative estimate. Conservatively speaking, the likelihood that he walked on this road is 100%. So he says to me, how do you know? How do you be so sure? So I said, well, if you believe that there was a real historic Jesus 2,000 years ago, he was in Jerusalem. And he was Jewish. He would have gone with all the Jews down to the Pool of Siloam. He would have immersed himself, purified himself, then walked up the Pilgrimage Road through the city of David, up to the temple on the Temple Mount. The Pool of Siloam that's been discovered in the city of David is 100% the Pool of Siloam from 2,000 years ago. The Pilgrimage Road that's been discovered in the city of David is 100% the Pilgrimage Road from 2,000 years ago. The Temple Mount is 100% the Temple Mount from 2,000 years ago. This is it. This is the biblical superhighway, right? How many places can you say, as Christians, as professors in a divinity school, how many places can you say with absolute certainty from historic, not faith, right? Historic certainty, Jesus was here, right? I'm a person of faith, I believe. But sometimes you have to say, here's what my faith tells me, and here's what the archaeology and science can tell me, right? This is 100%. 100%, right? We are standing right now on the most significant half mile for the Judeo-Christian heritage anywhere in the world. From the Pool of Siloam, up through the city of David, along the Pilgrim's Road, up to the Temple Mount is the most significant half mile in the world for the Judeo-Christian heritage, and I would say even further, you will not find a half mile in the world with more significance for more people than this half mile that we're standing on right here. I challenge anyone to come up with a place, a half mile of more significance than this stretch from the Pool of Siloam up to the Temple Mount through the city of David. This is it, right? This is the most significant half mile in the world, right? Yeah. Now, I'm biased, I admit it, right? But I believe, when you speak of the wonders of the world, you speak of the pyramids, you speak of the Colosseum, I believe this discovery of the Pilgrimage Road easily stands alongside those. I would argue transcends them. And I'll tell you why. Who here has been to the pyramids? Nobody? Right? Who here has been to the Colosseum? Right? A couple more. You guys don't travel much, right? So, The pyramids, the Egypt that built the pyramids thousands and thousands of years ago is not the Egypt of today. The great Roman Empire that built the Colosseum is not the Rome of today. When you visit the pyramids, they're cool. Check off that bucket list. You go to Rome, you see the Colosseum, amazing. And you want to learn more about the great Roman Empire, there's all sorts of museums you can go to. Right? But those civilizations are gone. They're part of history. This is not that. The Pilgrimage Road is not history. The Pilgrimage Road is a continuation of a story. A story that goes back thousands of years, that 2,000 years ago. The people who walked this road are the same people of the same faith that will walk it today and tomorrow and in the future. The same people, same faith, same traditions and festivals, and so it's the same. It's not once upon a time there were these people called Jews and Christians, and just like the ancient Egyptians and Romans, they're not here anymore. We're still here. And we're literally walking in the footsteps of our ancestors, going from the places they went, going to the places they went, for the same reasons they went to them. How many places in the world can you say that today? I don't think any. This is it, right? And in a couple of years' time, when this is opened up for people of all faiths and backgrounds to walk from the Pool of Siloam up the Pilgrimage Road through the city of David, the footsteps of the Temple Mount, the western wall, the southern steps, you'll be able to walk with your own feet, touch with your own hands, see with your own eyes our heritage in Jerusalem going back thousands of years, not simply as a matter of faith, but as a matter of fact. It's real, you can see it, you can touch it, right? And soon enough, you're going to have millions and millions of people every year who are going to be doing that. So I said at the beginning of the tour, 2019 we finished with about 800,000 visitors. That in 5 years we'll be at about 8 million. This is why, right? Once this is opened up, everyone's going to come here. I mean, if you say there are 2.3 billion Christians in the world today, and if you take all the Jews, we're still at 2.3 billion people, right? We don't really move the needle very much, right? So you take all those 2.3 billion people, let's say 10%, talking about the Christians now. Let's say there's 10% of Christians who say, I need to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. They're coming here. That's 230 million people. I'm guessing 10% is a low estimate, right? They're coming here. And this is not a knock, but Jesus wasn't in the Vatican, right? That's just the truth. That's history. He wasn't in Brooklyn either, right? Isn't it, right? There are places where we know that the people in this book, in my version, in your version, there are places we know where they were, and we know where they weren't, right? Not the Vatican, not Brooklyn, Jerusalem, the city of David, the Pilgrimage Road, right? It's here.
2028, is it when they're opening?
Before. We're in 2020 now. Before. Right? Next couple of years, God willing. Right? God willing.
Perhaps one of us read a song of ascents from the
Go
steps.
for it. Far be it from me to say no. So, we're only here, by the way, because you're with Kufi and Israel Collective. This is not open up to everyone. This is teach you guys a word in Hebrew. It's not really Hebrew, I guess it's Hebrew. It's called protectia. It's just kind of like nepotism. When, like, if you know the right people, things happen, right? So that's why you guys are here, because you guys know the right people, you're with the right people. So the question was, Pool of Siloam is 500-600 feet to the south of us. Temple Mount's 2,000 plus feet to the north of us. How did all the pilgrims, the millions of pilgrims, get from the pool to the temple? We're standing on the answer. We are standing on the 2,000-year-old pilgrimage road. This is the road that our ancestors, yours and mine, Jews and Christians, 2,000 years ago walked on when they went on pilgrimage up to the temple on the Temple Mount. Not a road near here, not stones that look like these. This road, these stones. This is the actual pilgrimage road, the biblical superhighway. Right? Anywhere you wanted to go in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, this road's taking you there. Now, the road itself is about 5 to 6 times wider than what you can see here. What the archaeologists are doing right now is a north-south connection And once they complete the north-south connection between the pool and the Temple Mount, the western wall, the southern steps, then they'll go east-west, right? These arches are supporting the neighborhood above us. Right now, if we're talking about archaeology, right, you're all with an academic background, traditional archaeology is top-down, right? That's traditional archaeology. However, Jerusalem is challenging. And not just Jerusalem. In Greece, in Rome, in lots of other cities, ancient cities, you have a challenge, which is you have a modern city on top of an ancient one. Now, in some places, you could just apply eminent domain, throw around some money, clear everyone out, and dig. Jerusalem, for all sorts of reasons, is not one of those places. For political reasons, religious sensitivities, that's not going to happen. And so the challenge then becomes, either you say, well, you find a way to, not have a neighborhood up above, but that's problematic. Or you say, well, we're not going to dig because there is a neighborhood up above. That's also problematic because what's below is significant to billions of people. And so the idea is, how can you find a solution using Solomonic wisdom to try and preserve the modern, uncover the ancient? And that's what we have over here. The engineering here is preserving the modern Jerusalem. Above our heads, about 60 feet, enabling the archaeologists to uncover the ancient, which is what we have over here. Now, behind us over here, you can see the eastern curve of the Pilgrimage Road. You can see the remnants of shops lining a Pilgrimage Road. So imagine somebody is coming up on their way up to the temple. They need maybe something for a temple offering. They maybe need something for a sacrifice. They need something, a bottle of water, a hat, a souvenir, right? This is where you're going to stop to get it, right? This is where it's happening over here. You're all from a divinity school, so I think you'll appreciate this. I think it's very easy, certainly for Jews, I think for Christians as well, that when we relate to this book, to the Bible, we almost view the people and the events as being from a different time. That they weren't people like we're people. They're holier, they're different, right? That Jerusalem in this book is not the same as Jerusalem. Today was a spiritual kind of Jerusalem, and this is a modern Jerusalem, right? What you see here, the more we dig, the more we uncover. There was an actual, real Pool of Siloam, where real people immersed in a real pool with real water. From that pool, they began walking on a real road, a pilgrimage road, right? That alongside the road there were real shops, where there was real commerce and real business taking place, and some people were having sales, and other people were overcharging, right? Just like today. And then you would walk up a real pilgrimage road with real stones, with real people, and you'd go up to a real temple that stood on a real temple mount, right? It's real. When you're in the place where the Bible happened, the words of the Bible come to life. I'll give you an example. The Psalms. Some of the most famous Psalms are called songs of ascent. Now, yes, it's a spiritual ascent, of course. But when are you singing those songs of ascent? When you're ascending to the temple. You've come from the Pool of Siloam. You're purified. You're going up now in cleanliness and holiness and purity. Up to the temple, singing the songs of ascent. When you're in Virginia or anywhere else, and you're like, oh, songs of ascent, it's because it's holy and, Jerusalem and temple. And yeah, all that stuff is true. But it's also an actual ascent. You're ascending half a mile, right? Going up literally a half mile, singing those songs of ascent on the way up to the temple. When you're in the place where the Bible happened, the words of the Bible come to life.